Myself, Yamuna Poyil. Welcome to Yamuna's Physics classes. Today we are here to discuss a topic 4.5, Chapter 4, Biot-Savart's Law. Now, before going to the law, I have to mention what is the purpose of Biot-Savart's Law. So, recap of a topic which you have already studied, that is right hand grip rule. Now suppose this is a conductor, a current carrying conductor. If you have a current carrying conductor like this, you know Christian Ørsted have mentioned in 1920 itself, around this conductor there is magnetic field. And that magnetic field, the direction of the magnetic field is given by right hand grip rule. So this is the conductor, and this conductor is held in such a manner that the direction of the current, this is the direction of the current. Direction of the current is given by right hand thumb. The remaining four fingers, you have the four fingers, they are curled in such a manner that the concentric circles around the conductor shows the direction of the magnetic field. So, concentric expanding circles shows there is magnetic field around it. And you can have tangent at each and every point. The tangent gives the direction of the magnetic field at that point. Okay? But we don't know what's the value of the magnetic field. So, the magnitude of the magnetic field is given by Biot-Savart's law. That's why you use Biot-Savart's law. And magnitude is found by taking this conductor. This conductor is split into short portions. Very small portions known as element. So if this is a conductor, a portion, very small portion of it is known as element. And through this element, a current is passing either up or down. So, element with current passing in a direction up or down is known as current element. So, specifically, Biot-Savart law is for a current element. Now, let us go to the detail. Okay. So, we have a current element of this portion XY. XY is a current carrying conductor. In the XY current carrying conductor, we take a small portion known as DL. This DL has a direction of the current. So current is going from X to Y. So this is the direction of the current I. And that direction is given to DL. So DL becomes a vector. Initially DL is a scalar, a small length, and that is scalar. But once you put the direction of I, it is known as current element. Element with a current I. So I DL bar together is known as current element. Now, you have to find the magnetic field at the point P. So, we are going to find the magnetic field at the point P due to this current element IDL bar. And the point P is at a distance R from the current element. So, this is the position vector from DL to the point P. So, this is the magnitude of the position vector. R cap gives the direction of the position vector from the current element to the point P. Also, one more thing. Theta is the angle between the current element DL bar and R cap. Therefore, let me see what are the dependents. So, Biot-Savart explained this dB. dB means magnetic field due to the small current element DL at the point P as dB is proportional to I. When I is going on increasing, magnetic field going on increasing. Christian Ørsted also mentioned that. And dB is again proportional to DL, the length of the current element. And 1 by R square, inverse square law. You have studied in electrostatics also. We will come to it later. So as r goes on increasing, magnetic field comes down, goes on decreasing, inverse proportionality. And also a new term, sine of theta. Sine of theta. Theta, if value of theta is 0, what you understand? The r cap will be in the direction of xy. Means r cap point P will be somewhere on xy, which means no magnetic field. Theta goes to 0, magnetic field goes to 0. If r cap is actually perpendicular to this current element, theta is 90, so sin 90 is 1. So for theta 0 or 180, you don't have any magnetic field, so the point P cannot be on this line of the current or xy. It should be perpendicular to the plane of the current element. And you can summarize all the 4 steps into a single step, that is dB is equal to a constant mu 0 by 4 pi I dl sin theta by r square. So this is the magnitude of dB. And what is the direction? dB is for sure is a vector quantity. So to write it in the vector form, we use the equation dB bar equal to mu 0 by 4 pi I dl cross r cap by r square. There comes the angle theta. dl bar cross r cap. So this is the angle between dl bar and r cap. To find the direction, this is the direction given by the into mark, we use right hand rule. And in earlier topic magnetic force, I have discussed that you have to curl your right hand. You curl your right hand along the acute angle. If it is A cross B, from A to B along the acute angle, the reverse is not possible. Then that product is given by C, okay, which will be perpendicular to both A and B. Similarly, apply here. Let us see what you can have. So you have to curl from DL to R cap. Curl your right hand from DL to R cap. And I can only curl in this manner. This is not possible. So take this. So I take my right hand going to curl. So I have to curl in this manner. This is my DL. Curling, 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 curling. It goes like this, and curl in right this manner so that the thumb is well into the plane of the board. So I have to curl at this point. Why? I have to find the magnetic field at the point P. So for the point P, I take my right hand in this manner. This is the direction of my DL. This is the direction of my R cap. So curling in this manner, what about the thumb? Thumb is pointing well into the plane of the board. My right hand I have taken, curled from DL to R. Thumb goes well into the plane of the board. So into indicates dB, that magnetic field due to the current element at the point P is perpendicular. Perpendicular means you can have 2 directions, either out of the board or into the board. Here it is well into the plane of the board. So very clear what is the direction of the magnetic field at the point P, and that you can find only from the vector form dB bar equal to mu 0 by 4 pi I into dl cross r cap divided by r square. Now mu 0 is not a new thing. You have studied a term 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0 in electrostatics. That 1 by epsilon 0 is known as mu 0. So this has pakka clear resemblance with Coulomb's law. So let us see Coulomb's law versus Weierstrass law. Some similarities, some differences. Okay. Number 1, long range. Coulomb's law, you just imagine the Coulomb's law here. Coulomb's law is mu 0 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0. So instead of mu 0, 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0. Ideal, instead of ideal Q, no sin theta by r square. And what about the electric field there? Electric field is again 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0 q by r square. So this is magnetic field. There you have electric field. So electric field depends only on 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0, that is same as mu 0 by 4 pi, q by r square. No terms like sin theta. So instead of q, I write IDL. Okay. So listen, in proportional to 1 by r square. So both are inverse square law, people. Coulomb's law as well as Biot-Savart's law. Okay. Now superposition is applicable for both. Why? Vector addition. Electric field, electric force, magnetic field, magnetic force. All are quantities which you can add vectorially. Superposition principle is applicable. So if these are the similarities, few dissimilarities or differences are there. What are they? One, R and E is in the same plane. That's why I told you, if you have a charge here, around the charge you have electric field, and that electric field is expanding circles again, and that is in the plane of the board itself. So R and electric field are in the same plane, whereas R and dB are perpendicular. Just now I have shown this is the direction of the R. What about the dB? Well, perpendicular to the plane of the board. E is independent of theta. In electric field, you don't have a term like sin theta. You have a term E is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0 q by r square. So no term like theta. Whereas dB depends on theta. You cannot have the point P and dl in same line. dB goes to 0. So there is sin theta dependence. And another important thing, Q is a scalar source. Q is definitely a scalar quantity. The source is scalar. You know, a source charge, a test charge we keep to find the electric field. So Q is a scalar source. But when you come to IDL bar is a vector quantity, because you know dl is scalar, but you put the direction of I on dl, so that IDL bar is current element, a vector source. So here the source of dB is the current element IDL bar, which is of course a vector source. So these are the similarities and differences. Hope it is clear. Just to memorize Biot-Savart's law alone, the figure, the equation, scalar, the vector form. Okay, hope it is clear. If you have some doubts, please post in the comment box. Thank you for listening.